Okay, hello everyone. This video is on multiculturalism. Now, in life, everyone has a sense of identity. Maybe they come from a Dominican background. Maybe they come from an African descent. Maybe their lineage is Roman in terms of who their ancestors are, who their descendants are, and their ethnicity. But with ethnicity comes culture. And I think marriage is a good example of when maybe two different ethnicities come together and between them they formulate a culture, So obviously, that's a grand statement, but I think when you do get married, obviously it's the basis, it's a collective between you. Maybe you can start a business or something and grow it, but multiculturalism means that you can go out into the world and go out into the universe and discover people and things that are different, And I think the key message I have is when you do find yourself associated or identify with a different culture, it does not make you a parasite or a user or an alien to it. Because if you have a true understanding of what culture is, and you really are part of a movement, and you really are part of a culture and a dynasty and a legacy, then your practices will be as valuable or as, your your practices will be as important as the next person and the next person and the next person. And I really find in life that without missing a blink, that is without missing out on a thing or a person, whether it's saying hello or giving the culture, or, you might go yo, or you might salam them, or you might hug them and give them shalom, or you might give them a good morning or top of the morning, or whatever. But I think cultures entitle a person to have a sense of identity and a method and a way of living. And then there are things associated that with it, be it drink or food or a certain colour in terms of garment, the clothing you wear, an area where you live, a particular place where you like to congregate or sleep, But I think cultures entitle a person to go out in the world and discover the world as though it's a huge oyster with a massive pearl in it, and they discover it, and then they consume and they consume and they consume. But I think that person should be recognised for being something and representing something in the first place, And that is the true key significant to a culture, is pioneering and innovating ways, kind of, you could call it infiltrate or manipulate, but really kind of to slot in your input in terms of what you can give, what you can show, what you can create, what you can cook, what you can build, And I think it means that persuasions to do with cultures that have been on for a long time and have always stayed close to their conglomerate, their group, always stay close to each other, then discovering new things about the world. And if you do get a kind of a different approach in persuasion, then that just means the task delegated and the task or the goal achieved will be done on a different angle from a different person and a different persuasive. Therefore, it will kind of the result, the ultimatum will be different. The trophy, the prize will be different. So it's very important to introduce yourself to other cultures. Maybe you go to the mosque or the gurdwara or the cathedral, or you go to the temple, you go to the synagogue, or you go to the school, or you go to the college, you go to the academy, or you go to the university campus, whatever. You go there, you read things, you say hello to people, you eat things, you learn things, and then you go and you adopt parts of the culture bit by bit. Maybe you try on a hat, maybe you have to wear a bangle, maybe you wear open sole feet, shoes, sandals, maybe you start doing different prayers, maybe you start eating different food, you start to introduce and associate yourself with different types of people, and it really builds on your character. But I think those that are integrating people into culture should be aware of the significance in terms of when someone has adopted or created a culture. That's a grand statement, that's epic, that's manifested universally. So I think people that get a taste for, say, walking in nature or getting the bus or going to the city or going to the town or whatever it is, you should not feel as though you are in debt to someone or owe someone, in terms of you should not feel kind of burdened by the fact that it's new to you or it's not new to you or whatever. It's the same as working with youth. I think, youth need youth, because that's what builds them. But I think adults, grown-ups, teenagers, when they're dealing with children and young people, that's when they can be a role model and set a good example to people. And it's really rewarding, but it really, really makes the foundation and the root of the person very strong and very palatable in terms of it makes that person more useful or more beautiful. It makes that person more reliable and more well known. So get to know cultures. I think it's very important to try things and achieve things and go through, say you went to India because you wanted to learn about Hinduism. That's fine, because that might be the root of India. So you might come back, on top. But at the end of the day, I think multiculturalism is very important. Not only allowing people into your lives, but also entering yourselves into other people's lives. So thank you, bye.